You know, here's the thing, though. We're focusing so much, Holly and Leslie, on what happened when the camera hit the ground. But, you know, our premise is that she lied about the camera. There's so many other things she said about the camera, right, Holly?
That's exactly right. When the prosecution made a bold accusation, Jodi lied about the camera. Well, what they're trying to focus you in on is how did these pictures get taken? That's not the point. There are multiple statements about that camera that Jodi made that are corroborated by the state's own evidence. Jodi said about the camera, it was Travis's camera. Guess what? The state entered into evidence the receipt proving that Jodi told the truth when she said it was Travis's camera. Jodi said, Travis wanted me to take those pictures with his camera. Guess what? There he is posing for the picture. She told the truth about the camera. She even said to Juan Martinez, it must have been me that put it in the washer. I concede that. She didn't lie about the camera. Very narrow focus, guys.
And one other thing, Leslie, I want you to touch this camera. I want you to have it. And notice when I'm giving it to you, I have two things in my hand, right? Very difficult to commit a murder with both, but you feel that.
All right, juror number 5 is number 1 holds that.
If the theory is true that Jodi dropped the camera so severely that Travis wanted to attack her, and it drops on a rug and then bounces off onto the tile floor, and I've dropped quite a few things, it would break. A part would come apart, you know, or something would happen to it. Have they checked, once they took it out of the washer, was there a lot of pieces missing?
Were there breaks or cracks or something like that?
I'm getting at that maybe when she, you know, premeditated or however she attacked him, that she still had it in her hand.
Let's ask the defense team. Defense team, what do you think?
Deborah, it's a very good point, but listen, if it falls on a bath mat or something else, then certainly the cushion, it should be a cushion there. As a result, nothing would break. But if you think about it, look at the inadvertent nature of the photos. They were by accident. These photos wouldn't be taken. What does that tell you? That it was dropped and that picture went off. Do you think she wants to incriminate herself by having her foot or anything in that camera shot? I don't think so.
And it's a $1,500 camera, so it doesn't have to be a severe drop. If a guy's proud of his new $1,500 camera, all you have to do is touch it, and you could anger him.
All right, juror number 8 has a question as well.
When she was dragging the body, did she have the camera in her hand?
Good question.
I mean, how could she? How could she?
Right. When you consider how much Jodi weighed versus how much Travis weighed, and I'm not being disrespectful when I use the term dead weight, to drag somebody who is in no way helping you, she's going to need both of her hands, and that's where, you know, that camera's getting kicked around. She's frantic now. She knows what she's done. She needs to cover it up. She's kicking that camera
and
around.
And she only has about a minute. We did a reenactment. They dragged the body into the shower because their premise is she had to drag it back into the shower. You can't do that with one hand.
Okay, defense team, hold on. Juror number 12 has a question.
Yeah, so if Jodi knew that there were incriminating photos on the camera, why would she have left the camera in the house?
Interesting. Why would she leave the camera?
Well, I think there are a lot of things here that don't make sense, that are not explained. I think there was a cover-up here that was done by her. That's a separate issue. We know that. So there were certain things that she did that were not logical at all. But on this simple issue as to whether or not she's telling an untruth about this, I don't think so.
Right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've had your chance with the defense team, but it looks like the prosecution's got a smoking gun.
A view of the laundry room. These photographs depict the washing machine and the contents of that washing machine.
What are we looking at there?
That's a digital camera that was found inside of the washing machine. There was a memory card inside of the washing machine that was also collected.
The camera was found in the washing machine, a very important fact. Now, let me reveal my smoking gun tonight, and I want you to take a close look. There we have the washing machine, but now take a much closer look at what's found on the lid of that washing machine. A blood stain. Jodi didn't drop that camera. She had it in her hand when she stabbed him. The camera got bloodied. She cleaned it in the washing machine, but left this blood stain behind.
Well, I'll tell you, I think the defense is making a great argument about the sequence, the fact that the camera was dropped. I think they've made some creative arguments tonight. But at the end of the day, you have to remember, particularly as to the juror's question, why would she leave the camera there? She put the camera in the washing machine, I would suggest, never expecting that this would come forward, that any of this evidence would survive the wash cycle.
Up next, the closing arguments.